There. Okay, so we're getting close to the day of consecration, which is Saturday. Now, I would wondered early on in this if we'd be able to normally have Mass or if there would be some way of coming together for this, and it looks like we're not going to be able to do that. So I really highly urge you to do this in an intimate way, in a way that I prefer this personally, because I think that if we're really honest about our consecration, though it's external, not necessarily doing it in community can be a good thing. To do it personally with Our Lady, that we entrust ourselves to her care in this total way, behind closed doors, behind in our inner room, because the dominant element of this devotion is that it's interior, and that it recur throughout your life, that every year you should renew this, and maybe that shouldn't rely on any momentum from a community. So I would urge you to stoke the sincerity with which you make this entrustment, and that you make it something truly personal, that you really try to make this something that you can initiate again in a year. So, or even sooner, right? Now, that being said, I am also at the same time, another part of my mind is sorry that we're not able to get together and we could all see each other, because there's like 180 people doing this, just on the English side, and then there's another 70 or so on the Spanish side, and so having everyone together would be awesome, but we would take up the whole church in a way that would overcome, or it would be too many people all in one place as well, especially as the numbers still are ticking up in COVID. Now, one point of advice at this stage in the game: you might be feeling really antsy. You've been doing all the prayers every day, and we're getting closer, and you're like, oh my gosh, can we get done with this? Pump the brake. Be careful. Be careful that you don't have that reaction like just before class was let out, whenever you're in school, where you stop listening to the teacher and you were no longer present. Even though you were physically present, you weren't really present in what you were doing. So what I said at the very beginning, recollection, really being present to your prayers, really not feeling that sense of haste as we near this end. Pump the brake, slow it down. Haste kills devotion. So feel yourself being pulled out, and then recollect. These litanies can be really tough. You'll really maybe feel a bit of a rush to get through them. I would challenge you to, with each of those lines, slow down, pump the brake, recollect, and mean it. Slow it down, right? It's a great practice. This is heavy lifting. This is spiritual exercise to be recollected, to mean what you say, and to remember who you're talking to. Every line. So a moment of recollection of sorts with every line can be a really powerful way. It'll lengthen the time of your prayers, but it can be a really great practice on how to be present to your prayers. Now, the consecration itself, and I'll say this a few more times because you should hear it. At the end of the 3 weeks, we should go to confession and Holy Communion. We will have confession on Saturday. With the intention of giving ourselves to Jesus Christ in the quality of slaves of love by the hands of Mary. After communion, we should recite the consecration prayer. We ought to write it or have it written and sign it in the same day the consecration is made. It would be well that on this day we should pay some tribute to Jesus Christ and Our Lady, either as a penance for our past unfaithfulness to the vows of baptism, or as a testimony of dependence on the dominion of Jesus and Mary. This tribute should be one in accordance with your fervor, such as a fast, mortification, or an alms, or a candle. If but a pin is given in homage and given with a good heart, it will be enough for Jesus, who loves only the good will. Once a year at least, and on the same day, we should renew the consecration, observing the same practices during the 3 weeks. So I'll see you again next year. Some kind of alm or a gift or fervor that is in accordance with where you're at. So a fast, If you're looking for a place to do some sort of gift or donation, I've made a little bucket. So for our parish, it would be general for general use, which would be really helpful at this point. So if you're wondering where to make that tribute, that's one option that's available. In previous years, I've also given to Catholic Relief Services for various reasons, whatever was going on around the world. So feel free, but the point still is the devotion with which you're going to do something. So I wouldn't get too hung up on trying to look far and wide as the absolute best place. Just don't give to an immoral cause, please. All right. One thing that's not written here too is you might also think of some sort of article to commemorate your devotion. Little chain, maybe a rosary that you'd like to get blessed at some point to think about it, or a scapular, I think, is a really great option to kind of commemorate the day that you did this. So I'll send you a link with the actual consecration prayers themselves. You can print off and sign, or you can write it by hand, which is a really good thing to do as well. So God bless you. Continue going on. Pump the brake. Mean those prayers. And I hope that your Saturday is one especially close to our Lord as you entrust yourself to Mary and consecrate yourself to Jesus through her. God bless you. Bye-bye.